I've got to ask though, because as a person from above, like obviously I'm a fan of the Hawks. Just walking in and having this being your office must be pretty cool.
It is a double-edged sword. Obviously, it's very cool. I'll give you an example from a training point of view. Even though the Wynn Entertainment Centre floor is available here, there are times where JT wants us to go back to the Snake Pit because of 2 courts, 4 baskets. So from a training point of view, it's a double-edged sword. In here, it's obviously our home floor. Not very many clubs get that opportunity to train where they play. Air conditioning, of course. It's clean, it's modern. It's beautiful. Look at it.
It's beautiful, cool. And you've just got, for those watching, you can see in the background, we've just got, who's it, Darius Days in the background, and Lockie Olbrich's been training as well. 2 of the boys playing, I suppose. For those who don't know, this is the night after a game, one on this court just 12 hours ago.
Yeah.
What does a day like today look for you, in particular, night after a game? You got a game tomorrow night as well. What does today look like for you?
So whether there's a game on 2 days later or not, the day after game for me is pretty standard, which is coming in here early. I like to get in here early when there's no one around. Put on a speaker, listening to Big Joe's tragic love songs of the 80s. And, I just start with a full wash-through, walk-through, clean. Towels are the main thing. Bigger venues like Kudos and whatnot and JCA, they have towels that are provided by the venue, and that's okay. But so I'll give you an example. This morning I've already done probably 4 loads of towels. It'll be a total of 100 plus, and that's just towels. And then there's uniforms, floor wipers, the mats that they use to floor wipe, and then just prepare for the next game.
Yeah.
Straighten up the courtside seats behind us, wash everything down, just prepare.
I've got to rewind it back. What's your playlist look like on a morning like this?
It's tragic love songs of the 80s. Although Darius, as soon as he walked in, was like, "Can I get the aux chord, please?" So now we've got to listen to that sort of music. It's not really music, but anyway.
What's his type of music?
There's rap and it's a bit scary. It's scary music, let's put it that way.
Music.
I don't know if I can say that.
I love that, mate. So for those who don't know you,
yep.
Tell us a bit about yourself, who you are, what do you do around here at the Hawks?
So my official title is General Manager of Basketball Operations. So without sounding silly, it's sort of, you're a jack of all trades. So I guess, again, for home games, I run the home game is split into 2. So we call it practical and theory. So practical is dropping the floor, the decals, the seats, the boxes, bump in, bump out, making sure the ring's the right height and all that kind of stuff. And then the theory is the entertainment side of it. So Amber in our office, she runs that side of it, and I run the practical side of it. So 2 days ago, there was an event in here on Wednesday night, so Thursday morning. It just starts with the floor going down, and then we go from there.
Talking about entertainment, who's the DJ? Who DJs here?
His name's Lockie, DJ Lockie.
I love that.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He has been DJing here on and off since I used to come as a guest, as a visitor with other teams, as a competitor, an opponent, I suppose. He's very good. He is very good at what he does. So.
That's cool. So, for example, yesterday, I think it was, like a 15-hour day? I saw something for you yesterday.
Come on now.
A little bit more? All right, I'll give you a bit of GST there. But run me through like a typical game day, like yesterday. Like, take me through your day yesterday.
Routine as well is also pretty standard. As soon as I'm in here at 6, we've got an activation centre out the front, so we've got to put a car out there. So that's the first thing I do, is get that done, come in here, and then it's signage, the front door signage, the side door signage, and then prepare the change rooms, the both team stuff. So the visiting team, the home team provides the visiting team with, change room stuff. Yeah. So I've got to do that, towels, food, drinks. So it starts down this end, which is where the media room is, and then we'll prepare the media room, the game ops room, the refs change room, the visiting coaches room, the visiting room, then of course our change room. And then we hit the floor, wash the floor. I take great pride in the floor being the primary asset. So it's a 2-hour operation to wash it properly in my mind. One of our club volunteers is I'm sort of loosening that leash a little bit because I'm a little bit of a control freak. To allow him to do bits as well to help.
So that's your thing.
Yeah, that's my zen is doing the floor. But again, it's a 2-hour process and the days are getting shorter and shorter. So it is a good help to have. And so I'm slowly getting him to do more and more, reluctantly, but he's doing a good job. So it does help. And then once the floor's done, the players will start rolling in. We'll have a game day shoot around. And while they do that on the floor, I'll just keep doing more back of house stuff. The change rooms on this side are the dancers, the mascot, intern coaches, commentators, and then just preparing the change rooms for them. By then, our shoot-around's finished. We'll go through that night's schedule. So and that part of it's also fun because you get to tell the players and the group just before they do the hands-in, like, who has to do the courtside interview pre-game.
So you're the boss.
No, not the boss, but just I'm the bearer of that news, right? And then the boys have made a big joke about, which is, like, it's really fun to do. So there's that, and then we announce who's going to do the press conference and all other media.
Oh, right, so you guys decide that pre-game?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so that gets decided the day before, but
yeah.
I usually pass that message on at shoot-around so that it just stays in their mind.
Yeah, because it's interesting, like, I've always watched press conferences and wondered, do they just get, like, who they thought would be the best storyline or that? Okay, so they make that the day before. Yeah. Right, that's interesting.
But it is changeable.
Yeah.
So if, for example, Adelaide was a good example. Our loss to Adelaide a couple of nights ago. The request was, I'm pretty sure it was Trey Kell.
Yeah.
Sam had a 35-point game, career game. So you can swap
tweak it, yeah.
If something like that happens.
Yeah.
So
take me back to this 2 hours to do the call. Like, what's involved in that 2 hours? Because, like, when you think about it, that's quite a big time commitment.
It is, yeah. So, I mean, the first things first is here, especially because you got to work around the LEDs, is a dry mop. And anyone that works at a basketball court will know what that is. It's that orange scissor mop.
Yeah.
Up and down to one corner, vacuum that up. And then, I don't know if you've seen, I have a Big Bertha, which is a tailor-made 2.5 metre block of wood with a handle.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just a warm towel wrap.
Yeah.
To wash. And then it's another dry to get rid of the last bit of dust. And then there's a second wash, wet, but it's got a little bit of sauce in it, which I don't know if I can reveal what kind of sauce we put in there.
Won't reveal any trade secrets.
But it does make the floor nice and squeaky, clean, and we always joke about being able to eat off it. So
yeah, nice.
That takes time.
Whatever you want, a clean court, right?
Yeah.
Keep the sponsors happy.
Absolutely.
Mate, I want to take back to, so how long have you been with the Hawks now?
So the Hawks, 4 years. The league itself, 22 years.
Yeah, wow.
Or 20 seasons.
Yeah, so what have been 2003?
It was a while, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I do mean to do a year by year thing as to where I was and when and what I was doing. So, but my first gig was the game day DJ with the Brisbane Bullets. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
when
I
I
was at high school.
So you were a DJ before?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Well, and by DJ, that's such a... like that, you're really just pressing enter on and picking the right songs. That's what I mean, but not that DJ.
I love that.
But yeah,
take you back to when you started with the Hawks. What sort of changes have you seen between when you came here and now? Realistically, the top, for those who don't know, the top of the NBL now.
Sure.
And I'm not sure, whereabouts were they when you got here as a club?
So my first year was with Gorge, and we were in the finals. I think we lost in the semis to Sydney. Yeah. And then the second year, Gorge had left, and we had a really high injury toll that year. Our record was 3-25. We did finish last. Again, though, in a bit of context and perspective, I mean, we had one game where we had 3 imports. Yeah. One game in the whole season. Yeah. We lost 4 players to season-ending injuries, and 4 of them were 4 import players. Yeah. So, I mean, you know, as an import player, the expectation is high point scoring, high level player.
100%.
So we lost 4 of them to season-ending injuries. It was just a freak year, and it's not funny, but it's interesting to hear now. There are a few teams in the league this season that have had or are going through a relatively high injury toll, but then when you look at it to comparison, people seem to forget about that year that we had, where that was probably the highest injury toll year that I've ever seen in my career.
Yeah.
So, a bit of context, that was where we sort of ended up. And then we've made the semi last year again, and then on top this year. So the success is, a lot of people forget that for some reason also, and I'm guilty of it when I was with Brisbane, Gold Coast and Adelaide coming in here, like, the Hawks aren't very good. But then when you look at it, they've actually been a pretty successful club.
Only foundation club left, aren't they?
Correct, yeah.
So, got to wonder, because you're a Brisbane, Gold Coast boy around that area.
Yeah.
How does one wind up down in the Gong from there?
It's actually interesting how that came about. The NBL obviously have a pulse on clubs and staff and whatnot. So I got a little bit of, I hope I don't get in trouble for saying this, I got a little bit of insider knowledge on some movement in senior level management here at the club a few years ago. And I received a text that was just like, look, we've had 3 senior level guys move on. Any interest in coming down to Wollongong for a season? Well, sure, why not?
So it was
absolutely.
only originally meant to be just a year. Wow.
And then I got to admit, when I first came here, it's not home. My family's in Brisbane, and I'm a real mummy's boy, and everyone knows that. So I'm cool with that.
That's cool. We could put that on the record.
I miss my mum, and so I thought, all right, we'll do this for a season. And then I didn't like Wollongong when I first got here, I must admit. And then you can't help but fall in love with the place because it is a community. You can walk down the street where like people, hey Joe, how you going? Great game last night. Oh, bad luck last night.
Such a small world.
It's unbelievable, and it's really, really cool.
Yeah,
it's really, really cool. So I love it here. We'll see what happens.
What didn't you like about it to start with?
Just small.
Just too small?
Small. Yeah, and again, coming from Brisbane, Gold Coast, where everyone said to me, this is like Gold Coast. It's nothing like Gold Coast. The only similarity is probably the beaches, I guess. But, Gold Coast is like Vegas of Australia.
Yeah.
Whereas, obviously this place isn't. Yeah. But, no, I've fallen in love with Wollongong. It is a really lovely place. I got a nice place right in the middle of the city. It's
perfect.
Good location. So, yeah.
You would have been close enough to Chico's. Did you try Chico's over the time?
I think that's the reason it closed down, because I ate there so much. That used to be a lunch ritual from here. It's a shame. There is one other one at Fig Tree, I think, but
Fig Tree, which is close by. Yeah,
it's too far.
Yeah. So how's, in terms of, so obviously you're GM of people operations and jack of all trades, we'll just call GM of all trades pretty much. How's this sort of club hierarchy work at a club like the Hawks? So, like top to bottom, what are we looking at?
So it starts with the ownership, obviously. Yep. So we have a really, really, really good owner, really, really nice human being, very caring, very generous. Probably the best owner I've had in my time in the league. I've had obviously a single person owner. I've had a family owner. I've had a 10 business owner group and whatnot, but his compassion and his care for the group is unwavered. So that makes it. So it starts with him. Yeah. Right.
You can shout him out if you want as well.
Hey.
You can shout him out if you want.
Oh, he knows who he is. He doesn't like that. So he knows who he is, and people know who he is. So.
Nice.
And then we have a chief exec.
Yep.
And then we have a few GMs that has their lane, and they're very good in their lane. And then also the crossover between the two. It just it seems to work.
Yeah.
Obviously, and then it's a staff of. It's only a staff of 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you make do.
Yeah.
100%. Matt Campbell puts the team together. I sort of admin for him and look after the team and game
Matt Campbell,
day.
for those who don't know, is club legend. His banners
up
up
the top there.
Yeah.
So 500 odd games. It's nothing really to
No, we can
get
just read the
excited
stats
about.
just from here. Have you got the?
Well, yeah,
got
of
the
course.
glasses just about?
5:24, is it? I need glasses, but yeah. So, absolute club. So he's GM of basketball.
Yeah.
So he puts the team together.
So he
and then
chooses, like for example, when
in
Justin Taylor got
consultation
hired,
with correct.
He's the one who made the call.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah.
So he in consultation with JT put the team together.
Yeah.
And then Jared, our owner, gets involved as well, which is pretty standard. Obviously, it's his money.
Yeah.
So
100%.
Would like to see what he's investing in. So Matt takes care of that. We have a GM of commercial.
Yep.
Who obviously does commercial
branding
stuff,
and everything
branding
like that,
and so on. Then there's myself that does obviously the game and the team. And then we have a GM of community who obviously does community, a GM of marketing and media. And that's the GMs, I guess.
Yeah, and then basically works down to the playing group and all that.
Yeah.
So we've got an NBL team. What other sort of development squads have we got?
So there is an NBL 1 team here,
Yep.
based at the Illawarra Basketball Association.
Yep.
Before I got here, I was told that the relationship between the NBL Hawks and the IBA Hawks was not great.
Yeah, right, okay.
Since I've been here, I mean, I've found it to be fine.
Yeah.
We work well together. More recently, we have signed an MOU with them, and the relationship is unbelievable.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
The GM of the IBA Hawks, I mean, comes to all our games. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
We are looking to integrate the NBL 1 program with us.
Yeah.
So Matt Flynn, our assistant, is going to be the NBL 1 men's coach.
Yeah.
And Rod Tremlett, who is one of our intern coaches, will be NBL 1 women's coach.
Yeah. So when does that season run? Is it
That goes
time
March.
or-
No,
oh, it
March
goes
till July
season? Okay,
in
so
the off season.
basically,
So it works out
Yeah.
really, really well.
yeah.
So
So you get a
we've-
few NBL players playing in those
That's what
leagues
we're
here?
trying to
Yeah.
do this year, and we're confident of getting a couple. And we'll see. I can't say who they are yet,
Nah, that's
but
fine. That's fine. All good.
but yeah, we're looking to get a few to play in the men's team.
Yeah, that'll
and
be
then we do want to be involved in the women's program because obviously with the NBL taking over the
gonna be my next question. So we're
WNBL.
looking for a WNBL. I did read somewhere there
Yes,
was a rumour that
and I
was looking for
think at some point it'll get to a stage where every men's team, like the AFL, will need to have a women's team. So we're certainly looking forward to what could look like a WNBL program here as well.
Yeah, there you go.
So that would also be a nice pathway.
So I mentioned the players behind us. What's your relationship like with some of the boys?
I'm their mum, pretty
You're
much.
basically their team mum, pretty much.
Yeah.
How's the relationship? Because it must be pretty cool.
Great.
Yeah.
It's really, really good. They're very, very good dudes, all of them. They do what I ask them to do. I don't believe in like rookie duties. So if you're next to me and I need a hand with a bag, I'm just going to say, Tyler, can you help me?
Yeah.
Darius, can you help? That's
Yeah.
I have sort of modelled what I do in my role for the coaches and the players to be able to just worry about playing and coaching.
Yeah.
The peripheral around your life, I'll handle for you.
Yeah, nice.
Your housing, your cars, your bills, whatever, no matter how menial you think it might be, I just want you to be able to come in here and worry about putting the ball in the cup.
So you're literally, like, when you were saying jack of all trades, like you weren't kidding. You're like,
You should come to our end of season MVP dinner. I've got a little section.
Hey, if the invite's open,
I do have a little section
there.
I do have a little section that's entitled "Stupid Texts I Receive." So I don't mention who they're from.
Yeah.
But I throw a couple of them up on the PowerPoint, and we get a good laugh out of it.
That's cool.
But again, it's part of the job. It's part of the personality that I have.
Yeah.
My mother's Balinese, so she's Asian. The Asian culture is you're very serving.
I was going to ask.
You're a very serving
what heritage,
person. Yeah.
Tertzakian is the last.
So
name?
the last name is Armenian.
Yeah. Okay.
So my dad's Egyptian.
Yeah.
My mother's Balinese. I'm Brazilian born.
Oh, really?
And my
We're in
sister's
Brazil.
a Sydneyan.
Yeah. Oh, so just Aussie speak and everything like that. Yeah. Ooh.
Sydney.
Where in Brazil were you born?
I was born in a city called Belém,
Oh, wow.
which is just at the mouth of the Amazon River. And then we moved down to Rio for 10 years and lived there for 10 years.
So you lived in Brazil. What was it like growing up in Brazil?
I got to be honest, I don't remember much
You
of
don't
it.
remember much, yeah.
I do remember going up to the big statue of Christ. I remember being up
across the
there.
River, yeah.
Yep. And the cable car rides, but I don't remember too much else.
Yeah, wow.
I do want to go back at some point in time just to see.
It's too busy, you know.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Well, sort of segued it best to me because I was going to ask about your upbringing and all that sort of stuff. So, raised in Brazil, you moved. When did you move here?
85.
85. So,
yeah.
how old were you
10
back then? Yeah. So, where'd you move from there?
To Brizzy.
To Brisbane.
And then just been in Brizzy ever since. My father worked in an oil shipping company, so he travelled a lot for work.
Yeah.
And we used to travel with him. So until then, we probably stayed at I do remember this, I probably stayed at the one place for probably 2 years at most.
Yeah, yeah.
And so my parents were like, well, why don't you guys settle in Brisbane, Australia? Back then, Australia was like the safest country on earth, back then. So we're going to set up in Brisbane, and then I'll go and work and earn money to provide.
Yeah,
So that's what we did. So
nice.
we've been in Brisbane since 85.
Yeah, cool. So where'd you go to school and all that?
I went to Wynnum State High School.
Yeah.
And then Manly West Primary School in the Wynnum Manly area.
Yeah, So how was your upbringing in like, how would you sum up your upbringing in... We'll forget about Brazil because we've discussed that, but how was your upbringing around the Brisbane area?
The best.
Yeah?
Like my parents are very, very generous. They're just two of the best people on earth.
Yeah.
I feel like they've raised me right. They've supported me in anything I do. They've supported me if I've done the wrong thing. I don't know whether you know, but I had a weight problem. So I ballooned out to 285 kilos.
Oh, wow.
Like I wouldn't have been able to, if there was 2 armrests on this seat, I wouldn't have been able to sit in it.
Yeah.
So, I went through that part of life.
How old were you when that happened?
I started getting big at the end of high school.
Okay, yeah.
So I played basketball right up until high school.
Yeah.
And then the end of high school, I went to uni and then just stopped playing.
Yeah.
And I used to work at Red Rooster. Shout out to Red Rooster, Alexandra Hills in Brisbane. I was there for 6 years. And, as you walk, I probably shouldn't say this here, but as you walk past the chip hopper, it's a chib.
Yeah.
Walk past a chib. And then
we
in a
won't
shift.
the OH&S issues or anything like that.
And over an 8-hour shift, that's a lot of chips.
It adds up, yeah.
Every day,
yeah.
Around uni. So it was not. And then when you're that big, it's not the weight. It's, the shirt's too small, or it's the shoes.
Yeah.
The feet don't hurt because I'm 285 kids, because the shoes aren't right.
Yeah.
So throughout that part, again, mum and dad were there for me. They never said you're fat, you're ugly, you got to look, because it's just not who they are.
Yeah.
So as far as upbringing, I couldn't have asked for a better.
Yeah.
I made mistakes, obviously, along the way.
We all do, yeah.
Hurt some people along the way, lost some people along the way. But all you can do is learn from those and make sure it doesn't happen again, I suppose.
Yeah, but it sort of teaches you the important things in life, right?
It does.
Like, you go through the tough times, but then you got mum and dad still supporting you and all that.
Absolutely.
So I can see why you look back on your childhood with such fond memories, right?
Absolutely.
So was it always? I'm assuming it was always basketball for you growing up.
Yeah, always. A guy called Tony Lightbody got me into it to play, because we were in grade 7, I think, or grade 6. I don't know how old we are then, but he just saw a big kid and was like, mate, you need to come and play basketball.
Were you always tall?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I said, sure, I've never done it before, but sure, let's give it a crack. And then I think when I started playing with him, I wasn't that great. And then they kind of like, oh, God, maybe we made a mistake and this and that. But then just kept at it. And I never played high level, but I did enjoy playing it. And then when I was 20 years old, I was with my junior club in Brisbane, Southern Districts Basketball Association. Shout out to them. They asked me if I would be interested in team managing the under-20s team.
All right. So
and I'm like, well, these are guys my age.
Yeah.
Like, how are they going to
respect
or respond to me? We go away on this trip to Townsville, and I had guys like Ben Thompson, Adam Dara. I gotcha.
Yeah, keep going. I'm just going to flick this
I had
off.
guys like Ben Thompson and Adam Dara in that team who went on to play NBL, who did respect and listen right from the get-go. So I thought, I don't mind this team manager thing.
Yeah.
And
so you found your place in a way?
I think so.
Yeah.
Because I didn't love the game enough to play it, but I loved the game enough to be around it, I guess.
Yeah.
So I stopped playing and then just took up the team managing thing. And then that was my second gig with Brisbane after game day DJing.
Yeah, yeah.
So
for those who are watching, shout out to Canon as well for making DSLR cameras that only have half an hour at a time footage, so you're going to restart it. Trusty iPhone though, still got you there. But that was going to be like my next question. So how your career started. So that's basically how you started. So then where'd you go to from there?
So game day DJ at NBL level was game day DJ at Brisbane. I mean, I turned it into a self-proclaimed superstar. Like I got the venue to put red carpet around.
I love that.
The gold bollards with the red velvet, so no one could. My school friends would come along and try.
Bit of pizzazz about it.
Don't talk to me. I'm busy now, guy. Like, it was all self-proclaimed.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there was no social media then.
Oh damn! So you couldn't build a profile or anything.
No profile. No.
Can I just
nothing.
say one of the all-time Instagram follows you are. I'm enjoying the Insta stories. One of the all-time follows.
Thank you.
I've got to say.
I wish I had it back then, but anyway. So total self-proclaimed superstardomness of that role, but I enjoyed it. Genuinely felt the Bullets won games because of my music. No other reason. You get in that mindset.
Yeah.
I loved it. I really did love it. And then what happened was, one of the assistant coaches at the Bullets was our ABA, which is the equivalent of NBL 1 now, was at Southern Districts. His name was Paul Mellett, who, funnily enough, was an assistant coach with us here a couple of years ago.
Yeah, right.
But Paul was the head coach at the Southern District Spartans NBL 1 team, and I was his team manager. At the Bullets, they were having some issues or going through transition in the team manager space. So then Paul said to the coach at the time, well, I've got a guy at state league level that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And the Bullets had a double road. It was Canberra, and I can't remember who the other one was. And then they were like, do you want to come along and just see? And I was so nervous.
Yeah.
And Paul's like, mate, this is what you do normally. It's no different to what you do at ABA.
When you get an offer of a road trip, it's just like, with a professional sporting team, it's like, yes, please.
Eyes wide open.
Yeah.
Right? So I thought, all right, sure, let's give this thing a crack. And then we got back. They loved what I did and how I did it, but then I had to make a choice.
Yeah.
Because I was like, well, can I do both? Because I really genuinely enjoyed DJing.
Yeah, you want to do as much as you can, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So then they said to me, no.
It's one or the other.
So then I was like, can I maybe just DJ at home, but then do the road stuff?
Yeah.
No. Okay. So then I chose the team managing path.
Yeah.
I had to relinquish the game, but I was so critical of the next guy and the next guy and the next guy.
Sort of like, that's my baby.
I would do it better than that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so how long were you there for?
Team managing?
Yeah.
9 years with the Bullets.
Yeah, long time.
And then you just work your way up from team managing, came to help game day setup, from game day setup to operations and whatnot. Our operations manager at the Bullets, her name's Narelle Kelly, very, very well-known administrator in Queensland.
Yeah.
Like my unofficial mentor, one of them, I guess. She sort of taught me about humility, empathy, how to deal with people. I thought I did that pretty well anyway, but she just added taught me some twists to it to take it to another level. And then we won a championship in 06-07.
How was
with
that?
Brisbane.
Tell me about that.
Unbelievable. Greatest team in NBL history ever. 21-game winning streak.
Wow.
Yeah. I understand the Invincibles of the 36ers went undefeated.
What year was that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
And I should know because I worked at the 36ers for 4 years. 86, I'd like to say. Actually, I'd like to say 86 was the Invincibles, but we were better. Anyway,
there you go.
Sam McKinnon had the best individual performance season where he won MVP of the league, finals MVP, defensive player of the year. What else did he win? He won everything. He won everything that year and the championship. So, what are you doing? Is it okay? Is it?
Still going. We've got Hung Jung Lee behind the camera
behind
here.
the camera. Hello, Lee.
Hawks star.
Do you want to come and say
You
hello?
can come and say hello.
Hello.
Drained one of the all-time threes last night. How you going, mate? How you going? Jared.
Do you want to say hello? Like just.
You can say hello.
No English.
No.
Oh my goodness, that's red hot. Get out of here.
Got to say, that three last night was unreal.
His?
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
You didn't see it? You missed
Stop
it.
looking at me like that.
Anyway, where were we? Bullets. Right.
Bullets. So
06.
that championship year, 21 game winning streak was unbelievable. The everything about that season was right. Like the wives and partners got along, the players got along. It was phenomenal. We had the confidence, borderline arrogance that even if we were down 14, 15 at three-quarter time, it's okay.
Yeah.
We're going to win this.
We're going to get it. Yeah.
And it's probably not at that level yet here this season, but there are similarities between, okay, we haven't won 21 games, but just that confidence of we should be okay. And sometimes it doesn't work, obviously, but that championship year was unbelievable. We had to take the grand final series back to Boondall because we'd moved to the convention centre. It was a little bit smaller in the city. For the grand final, we took it out to Boondall, bigger venue, old school, it's where Brisbane have moved back to now, which is great move, I think. And then we won it in Game 4 in Melbourne. Game 2
it wasn't even at home.
No, unfortunately not. But Game 2 was funny because this is a good owner story. So Melbourne Tigers, it was at the time.
Yeah.
They played at the State Netball Centre, so it was 3,300 seat stadium. It wasn't big.
Yeah.
So for Game 2, our owner, the Brisbane Bullets owner, bought 1,200 tickets.
Oh, right.
Chartered a bunch of planes.
I love that.
And took all of our members
Yeah.
to their game just for the day, for the game.
So it was half anyway.
Blue T-shirts. So you could see, like, if you can ever Google the game, the crowd, like, you could just see, obviously,
so
who our support. Game 2 of the 06-07 final.
There you go.
If you check it out on YouTube, it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
We lost the game, and everyone was having a bit of a
So it
crack
didn't
at the
even work.
owner. It didn't work, but just what it, like, you talk about ownership support.
Yeah.
I mean, that was unbelievable. I can't imagine what that would have cost.
You bet you have some stories from that year.
Yeah, very much
after
very much
after you win it.
Very much
Anything
so.
you could share? Or?
No.
No? Not safe for work?
No. No, not really.
Not really?
It was a 20-plus year hiatus from winning a championship.
Oh, right,
the city
so it
went
was a
nuts.
drought break, yeah.
I've never seen anything like it. When we landed, the airport was chaos.
Yeah.
It was just a really nice experience.
Those are the moments you live for, eh?
Absolutely. And again, unfortunately at the time, no social medias. The only cameras you had were those Canon, the old box. That one. Yeah, I shouldn't say Canon, but so there was no real footage, I guess, which is a shame. But if we get there this year, we'll story it on my gram.
Yeah.
But yeah,
they're looking pretty good at the
hopefully.
moment. Yeah.
Hopefully.
See how we go. So where'd you go? From there, where'd you go?
So from Brisbane, we won at 06-07, 07-08, GFC hit.
Yeah.
Our owner took a little bit of a hit, and he had to offload the team.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So the team folded. And then I went to Cyprus for the back end of that year with a club over there as their GM.
Yeah.
I went with Joey Wright. So Joey Wright and I partnered up and we did 17 seasons together.
So what are the leagues like Cyprus? Like where do they play in terms of
inside,
league?
like just on the island?
Cyprus
yeah,
league?
yeah. So there's about 10 or 12 teams. It was my first. Let's put it this way: it was a great life experience.
Yeah. In what way?
Yeah, from a basketball point of view, the basketball's basketball, but I'm watching games for the first time in Europe, and there's the crowd behind you spitting on you.
Oh yeah.
I'm feeling, this is the first time I'm sitting on the bench and I'm feeling this thing on my back. Then I looked, obviously the ones that are missing me are landing in front of me on the floor, and I'm like,
I scrubbed that floor earlier.
Well, to me, that looks like spit. Surely no one's spitting on me. Anyway, and then more and more, and I'm thinking, all this that I'm feeling is someone else's spit.
Oh.
And I turned around, and then they gave it to me. And I thought, you know what, this might not be for me.
Yeah, right. So,
so
how many years did you say you were there for?
A 6 month. Well, it was a 6 month contract.
So it didn't last long.
Didn't last long. This is not
didn't
for
want
me.
to get covered in spit every night.
This is not what I want to
wow.
do. So while we were there, though, again, Joey was there with me because he was the coach of the Bullets.
Yeah.
We obviously kept an eye on the NBL while we were there, and Gold Coast Blaze came in to the league the year before we folded at Brisbane. So this would have been Gold Coast's second year in the league. And Brendan Joyce was their coach, and they started 0-5.
Yeah.
And then 0-9. And then 0-11. And we're still in Cyprus. And I'm like, Joey, give the Gold Coast a ring. Get us home.
Yeah.
And he was like, I can't, because there's that unwritten respect rule from one coach to another. He goes, if they reach out to me, 100%, but I can't do that to the coach. Being Brendan, obviously it's that coaching respect fraternity thing.
Yeah.
I didn't know that, so I'm like, stuff that. Get us home. And he's like, man, I can't do it.
Yeah.
Anyway, lo and behold, things worked out. We'd spoken to Gold Coast. Well, they'd spoken to Joey. He told me no change, but for next season.
Yeah.
So we were good for the next. Let's get the heck out of Cyprus.
Yeah.
I came back home. I ran a nightclub on the Gold Coast for 6 months.
Is it still around?
No.
No.
And then Joey went back to the US for 6 months. We regrouped back, went to the Gold Coast for 4 years, and then the Gold Coast ownership was a family.
Yeah.
Really lovely people. They walked away as well.
Yeah.
They didn't. I feel they did it the right way. That was when BA owned the league. They enjoyed living a level of a lifestyle, of which if they kept going the way they were going, they might have been in jeopardy of not being able to continue living that lifestyle.
Yeah.
So we were seeking a front of jersey sponsor.
Yeah.
Just to ease the financial pressure.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything massive, but just we needed that. So they went, and we went looking, and we tried for 12, 18 months. And then they were, again, open up front. Look, if we can't get that little bit of assistance, we might have to pull out.
Yeah.
We never got there, so they pulled out. Again, no hard feelings whatsoever. That's life. So then Gold Coast out of the league.
Yeah.
And then the next year, Adelaide. Joey goes to Adelaide. I stayed in Brisbane. I stayed home. I have a little bit of a hiatus at Darwin Basketball Association.
Yeah, how's that up there?
And then hot
all the time?
Hot. I loved my time in Darwin.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Yeah.
It was really, 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 really cool. Nice people. Challenges, of course, but I really enjoyed my time in Darwin running the association up there.
Oh, so you ran the whole
the Darwin Basketball Association, and they're connected in, because it's small, they're connected in with Basketball Northern Territory. So one of my best friends, Rod, who's now here as an intern, it's great. Met some really lifelong friends there, so that was really, really cool.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to mention, a lot of lifelong friends, but you always cross paths with them. I've noticed these stories, always cross paths with different people.
Absolutely.
It's quite cool, realistically. Like the relationships
it's the best part. It is the best part of what we do.
Yeah, 100%.
It really is.
We're going to divert for a second, because obviously the boys are shooting behind us here. Yeah. How does it sort of work in terms of, obviously, like the boys played last night? Is there a certain minutes threshold players hit where it's just like you're not training the next day?
So there is, and our high performance director, Alex Moore, manages that.
Yeah.
Alex, a little bit on Alex, he undersells the fact that he is a 2016 NBA champion. He was with the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Right, yeah.
In the famous come from behind Cavs versus Golden State. So he's worked with LeBron.
Yeah, right.
He's worked with Delly. And every now and then he brings in that championship ring as a, not to show off, obviously, but as a little bit of a pick-me-up to say, guys, this is kind of the... And it's unbelievable.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, I've seen it probably 5 times, and every time I see it. So he manages that side of it. So what we generally tend to do is if we have a game day, if we have access to the venue, I'll put in our group chat, hey fellas, court tomorrow's open from. So today my message was court's open from 7 till 11:30.
Yeah.
And then if they want to come in, they'll normally check with Alex first on their load levels.
Yeah.
So Lee, for example, I think he played quite a few minutes last night. So you see he's just shooting free throws. Whereas Darius looks like he's going a little bit harder.
He's getting into it, yeah. He's going to barge someone over.
So Alex kind of manages that.
Yeah.
And I just provide the venue.
There you go.
Pretty much.
That's cool. That's
really cool.
It's sort of cool just sitting here having a chat about things while this is the environment going on.
Yeah.
Right. So, did I read somewhere as well? You've done some work with the NBA's Summer League.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
So this is a really cool story too, and it all came about from a message on LinkedIn. So I was with the Adelaide 36ers by now. Hey,
shout out to LinkedIn.
Shout out to LinkedIn, definitely. So Trey's just come in thinking, no, it says it was day off.
Is that our star import over there?
That's our star. This is our star import. Come on in, Trey. Time out. Yes. Nothing's on today. Day off.
Right. They said there was a walkthrough or something yesterday.
No, but at the end of the game, JT said tomorrow's off, and so it was updated to off. I appreciate. Shout out to checking out Teamworks though.
Oh man.
Well done, Trey Kell.
No, I'm here for no reason. No.
Do you want me to get you some donuts? No. I'm sorry. Sorry, Trey.
Hell no, I'm tired.
I'm loving this.
Okay.
I'm loving it.
Where's Trey going? What? Trey, where are you going? He's going back to bed. He thought we had walkthrough. JT said nothing was on. Go back to shooting free throws. Come on now. Oh gosh.
We could cut
Sorry
that
about
out.
that.
Shout out to Trey Kell for coming in on his day off.
Wow.
But anyway, we're talking about NBA Summer League. So shout out to LinkedIn.
NBA Summer League. I was with the 36ers at the time, and at that time of my life, like players, referees, coaches, you want to be in the NBA. It's the mecca. It's the place to be. Yeah. So as an administrator, you're no different.
Yeah.
So the guy that runs Summer League, I found him on LinkedIn. I just sent a message. Hi, my name's Joe Tertzakian. This is what I've done before with NBL, in the Pro League in Australia. Want to learn, blah, blah, blah. Right straight back.
I love
straight
that.
back.
I love a prompt response.
Hi, Joe. Nice to meet you. If you're coming over, because obviously I said I'm coming over, happy to pay my own way. Just shadow you, learn from you, meet with you, pick your brain, that kind of stuff. He says, if you're coming over, I'm putting you to work. And if I'm putting you to work, then I'm paying for you to come. Like I'm covering everything. And wow. So it's gone from just a let me come and shadow you to now being a contractor, I guess. So the first year I went, this was also pretty funny. I go to the airport, and you know how nowadays it's just you just show your passport. Yeah. Before, well, you're too young, but before you used to get like a triplicate.
I'm glad you're assuming that.
You used to get like a little triplicate ticket, and this and that. So it wasn't just show your passport. So I go to the line, and you know the line that goes up and down. So I'm waiting in the economy line, up and down, and I was there for about an hour. I get to the check-in counter. I drop my passport, and the lady goes, "Oh, sir, I'm really sorry. You're in the wrong line." And straight away, defensive, angry. What? Been here for an hour. I've been lining up. What are you talking about? No, sir. Down the very end, you see the red carpet and the palm trees. I'm like, yeah. She goes, "You're in first class." I'm what?
Out.
I'm what? She goes, "You're in first class." I was like, "Stop it." She's like, yeah.
I like the full story with the red carpet as well, and the DJs back in the day as well.
I was like, it all ties in, doesn't it? And I was like, well, can you, I'm here. Can you check me? She's like, I can, but that's and I said, you know what? I'm here now. Check me. And then she was like, wow, like I've never, people normally just run, you know what I mean? And I'm like, well, I'm here. Well, let's just.
What airline was it?
United.
Yeah, right. So how was first class on United?
It was unbelievable. First time I've ever, and the only time I've flown first class.
So you had no idea?
No idea.
That's
no idea. Get there, there's a car waiting for me. I refuse to drive.
Yeah.
I will not drive in the US.
No,
I'm not comfortable.
Different side of the car as well. You got to drive on
Yes.
and all that.
So won't do it. So I'm like, look, I don't need the car.
Yeah.
So I get an Uber, go to the hotel, again, all covered, get to the venue, and, we start talking. I get to know him better. And I said, look, this is over a coffee. I'm like, look, I got to ask you, firstly, thank you for everything.
Yeah.
So I said, I got to ask you, why the extravagance on just for my own, and he says, well, Joe, when you landed, were you arrested when you landed? I said, yeah. And he goes, and because you were arrested, you were able to get started straight away, right?
Yeah.
I said, yeah.
That's why.
That's why.
Right. So from there,
He goes, so I can't have you, jet lag can't be a reason to not, wow.
Yeah.
I said, okay, fair enough. And then further to that, we go into our staff room area.
Yeah.
And I noticed that there's it's just a couple of tables and chairs, the Wi-Fi code, obviously, and some lockers. And then my team manager hat kicks in. Well, there's no water, there's no... Okay, so when we let the day go by, we meet people, I learn from him and whatnot. That night, I popped down to Walmart and I bought 4 Eskies.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've been to the US, but that stuff over there is cheap as chips.
Oh, hell yeah.
And Gatorades, you get a box of Gatorade for $2.
Yeah.
So I just got 4 big Eskies, a bunch of water, a bunch of Gatorades, filled them up with ice and everything the next morning, and I just rolled them into the staff room. And then we went about our day.
Yeah.
End of the day, I didn't see him the whole day, but I had my tasks to do. He pulls me up later that day, and he's like, oh, Joe, can I talk to you for a minute? I'm thinking, I'm going to get fired.
I'm going home in
tonight.
The carriage, yeah.
In economy. Who would do that? And then he says, I hear you're responsible for the refreshments.
Yeah.
I was like, well, yeah. Again, thinking I'm going to get in trouble. He goes, can I ask you then why? I was like, well, I said, I had long days and bad breath. I mean, it's just giving to your people.
Yeah, yeah.
And he was like, you know what? Tomorrow you're just by my side tomorrow.
That's
you
unreal.
don't. So then the rest of that summer league, which was my first one, funnily enough, though, the next day we went in and there was about 4 big double door fridges.
Just ready to
full.
go.
Yes.
Just
so that was kind of cool.
Leading the way.
And then the rest of that trip, I was basically by his side with what he does, which is not that indifferent to what I do here in the practical. So I took a lot of that, learning from him of how to treat people, how to make your venue look, and then just that attention to detail to your presentation.
Yeah, wow.
It's key, and it doesn't matter whether you're a GM or not, or whether you're an owner or not. If there's something here that needs to be picked up and put in a bin,
you do it. It's everyone's job.
Yeah.
So tell me about how long were you over there for? Whereabouts in the States were you?
Vegas. Straight into Vegas, in and out.
Vegas, yeah. T-Mobile?
Yeah. No. We were at UNLV.
Right. Yeah.
We were at UNLV.
Yeah.
But again, it is cool. But a standard day is, you're like here. You're at the venue first thing. You're the last one to leave. Vegas really doesn't sleep, so you're operating on 2 or 3 hours, but you just got to look after yourself.
Yeah,
it's self-managed because it is high stress.
Yeah.
You're always on the go. People relying on you. But
non-stop.
You wouldn't want it.
So how long was it for?
The competition's 10 days.
Yeah.
But again, you fly a few days early to prep. You stay a few days late to wind it down. So it's 20 days usually.
Pretty sick 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Really?
It's unbelievable.
Whereabouts did you stay?
So we stayed at the Palms.
Yeah.
So that's where the Summer League staff usually stay. In recent times, I've been able to stay where I want to stay and then just put in for reimbursements.
Yeah.
So we've done that. We've stayed at the Vidara the last 3 Summer Leagues because Matt Campbell comes with me.
Yeah, nice.
Now,
yeah.
so he does his Hawks work. And then obviously we link up while we're there. And the Vidara's good because there's no casino in the lobby.
Yeah.
So it's
no temptation or anything.
Oh, not temptation, but
pure
just
business.
less people as well.
Oh, true.
It's just less, and it's good to meet.
Yeah.
because there's no ding, 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 ding. There's no. It's just a good place to.
So just the yearly thing now. How many years have you been doing that now?
So I actually last year was my 10th year, and I wish I'd brought it. The guys made me a custom-made Air Force One's 10-year anniversary NBA Summer League shoe,
cool,
which is really cool. I mean, it's not something I would ever wear because it's special.
Yeah, you just want to frame it and basically just put it up in the games room or something like that.
Yes, and then so I told them, thank you, 10 years, we're done.
Yeah.
But I might go back.
I'm coming back.
I might go back. I might.
On the topic of fashion, I've seen a couple of your game day outfits. Talk me through the process of picking those ones out. So for those who don't know, like your game day attire is pretty well known around the Hawks at the moment. Just tell me a bit.
Firstly, I only do that at home games.
Only home games?
Only home games. Secondly, it's the. I mean, how can you? It's just. I think it's the confidence that I've always had, but then when you become 285 kilos, you lose that confidence.
Yeah.
And then when you come back to a normal size, you get that confidence back. So I also feel that you dress how you feel. I mean, I'm pretty bubbly. I'm pretty outgoing. I like to think I'm friendly, although that's getting a bit...
I can attest to it.
That's getting a bit pushy.
I mean, you
this
responded
time.
to my cold email. So.
Oh, there you go. In my older age, maybe, the fuse is getting a bit shorter. But, yeah, I think it's reflective of your personality as well. So the bright colours makes people happy.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's cool.
Why not?
Yeah. What's been your favourite outfit?
Last night's one of my favourites. Yeah,
so
the red.
Wearing?
That's my red. I've got a red and a yellow. They're probably my two favourites.
I love that.
And
you go
I
the
just mix and
shorts
match
as well?
around. Always.
That's sick.
Always.
I love
you
that.
know who hates the shorts is the NBL owner, Larry Kessel. And he was here last night. So when I go to NBL functions, I got to wear the longs.
Oh, damn. Shame. Well, mate, I appreciate you coming on. I'm just going to find a couple of quick fire get to know you.
Okay.
This is basically the one you look forward to the whole time. First thing, what's one thing people don't know about Joe Tertzakian?
Oh, wow. I thought this is supposed to be quick, isn't it? What's one thing that people don't know about?
I mean, it can't be that. It doesn't have to be that quick.
Oh, no, no, that's... What's one thing that people wouldn't know about me? I don't know. I mean, my life is pretty public now, isn't it?
It's pretty...
I mean, I love cooking. People know that.
What's your go-to dish?
Atlantic salmon, crispy skin.
Nice.
Creamy mash with some garlic and asparagus.
So we should expect to see a Joe Tertzakian.
I'm going to have to do that
YouTube
now.
Now that you've
Joey and I used to do that. We used to do it. Well, Joey was a cook at the time when we were in Adelaide living together. So yeah, cooking maybe.
You can cook a good salmon.
I can cook a great salmon.
What's the best thing about your job?
The people. The people I work with, and it's not work. It's not work. It's this is family.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, you saw the interaction, the camaraderie.
Brushing with the boys. It's just cool from my
It's the
point of
people,
view
it's
as
the
well as a
people.
fan as well. It's cool.
Oh gosh,
Who's the best player in the NBL right now?
does that include or exclude my guys?
We'll include. We'll do one that includes and then one that.
I mean, I've got to pick
excludes.
one of my guys
Of course.
if it includes. So right now, I mean, it would have to be. I mean, we've got. I'm going to say everybody on my group. I'm not going to.
I love that. Yeah.
Yep. Externally, I mean, it's hard to go past Bryce Cotton.
Yeah. He's
Having again 22 seasons for me, seeing a lot come and go. At the minute, it would have to be him. I think in history, I think the eras are different, so it's always a touchy one. But I mean, I had Leroy Loggins.
Yeah.
Who Joey Wright and I caught up in Adelaide, and some of the stats that he rattled off about Leroy would have him up there. And of course, you can't go past Drewy. So,
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
I've just got your relationship with the boys as well. I've noticed as someone looking from afar, like I said, quality Instagram follow your stories.
Thank you.
You seem to get a lot of coffees with Tyler Harvey. You seem to be pretty close with him. Just tell me a bit about your relationship with him.
Just the ultimate pro.
Yeah.
Good guy, family guy, great example on and off the court. I posted this morning because, I'd put about jokingly, anyone can bring me a coffee. He brings me a coffee.
I like that.
It's a day off.
Yeah.
Brings his wife in, brings his baby in just to drop me a coffee.
That's nice.
I mean, shout out to Lachlan Albrecht, who also did, who hasn't made the gram yet, but I'll get you on there. But yeah, I can rely on all of them, but just Tyler's up early as well. So's Todd Blanchfield, but we don't like him. So
why not?
Well, he tries to get in on our coffee.
Oh, does
I mean,
he?
yeah, and
It's your thing?
It's me and Tyler's thing, so Todd, just don't stop trying.
I love that. I love that. Who's your favourite music artist? We're talking about DJs and everything.
Music artist. I'm going to say, you're young-ish. I'm going to say Icehouse.
Icehouse. Yeah, right.
Electric Blue? You know it?
Oh, Electric Blue, yeah, of course.
You know it?
Yeah, I know Electric Blue.
Well done.
Nice. There we go.
Okay, I'm
cool
with
Made
that.
some common ground, Wabby.
Okay, cool. Icehouse.
That was good.
80s, love it.
Cool.
Yes.
Cool. So what's your hope for the future moving forward, just personally and working with the club?
I'd like us to get a second championship flag here. And then, honestly, probably when you win, it sometimes can signify a nice opportunity to not reconsider, but to look at options, if that makes sense. I mean, again, this is 22 seasons. It's a long time. I'm turning 50 this year.
Raise the bat.
Thank you. So it could be a good opportunity to just reevaluate if it's time to go home to Brizzy, to maybe get out of basketball. The Olympics is coming to Brizzy.
It is,
in 32. Yeah. I've got in my network a few good connections in that realm. I've never done anything Olympic related.
Yeah.
So there is a little bit of an attraction for that. It's home. It's Olympics. It'd be a nice. By the end of the Olympics, I think I'll be 57. I worked it out.
Yeah.
So it might be time to then just become a fan, maybe.
Yeah.
But for the club here, I'd love the club to win a championship.
That's cool.
This year, I think we've positioned ourselves well enough to give it a really good chance. And then what happens after that happens
there
after that.
Last one for you. You got any other favourite sports you watch?
You know what? I like having AFL on in the background.
Yeah.
I don't watch it.
You don't watch it.
But it's just there. It's that ambient noise. Maybe because it's boring. I don't know. I don't know. But my AFL team is Carlton. And the only reason I like Carlton is because I love the navy blue colour and their logo. I couldn't name
it's purely branding.
Absolutely. I couldn't name I couldn't name our coach. I couldn't name a player, but I like Carlton.
I love that. Well, Joe, thanks for coming on, mate.
Thank you. Appreciate it.